How's your new fan, Bruno?
Oh, it is pretty funny actually.
So Dave, have you figured out Christine's niggles yet?
Well, not to say the least. So if you come out here, we've got an issue. So look at top position, look at RPM, right? I'm gonna fire the car up and you're gonna see what's going on. So if you look here, see how sporadic this one is? This should be nice and solid near 1,000. You can hear the revs coming down now. So everything else is reading as it should. So it says to me our CAN signals are okay, but we seem to be getting a bit of corruption here. So we've gone through all the losing over this last week. We've gone with new controller. So you see in here, we've got, this is actually the gearbox controller that controls the 8-speed. And I'm just losing hair now because we've gone through everything. We've plaited all the wires to make sure there's no interruption. And now I'm talking to Jim from Zero Gravity, who designs that boxer trick. So if he can't fix this, I honestly give up, because I don't know what else we can do. So we've gone through every connection, everything. So we'll keep going and hopefully get an answer. So bear with us, Tom.
What have you been doing here, Louis?
Fitting a Nakatanga aerial.
Aerial? Ah, right.
How do you call that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are right. I just hadn't realised what it was. So to get to that, you've had to take off the snorkel.
Yeah.
On the side, I guess.
The easiest way to get to the hole that well, you need to put an aerial.
So what's that aerial for? Is it just radio?
Yeah, it's got FM and also DAB.
Right. So when they're in the middle of Morocco, they can have Radio 5 Live or 6 Music or whatever.
Radio 1.
It's probably Heart FM though in them, to be fair.
So, this car is coming to Scram Africa this year, which is in Morocco. And we've come up with a name of it. Me and Rob were banging ideas back into, and he did make me laugh a few times when he said he'd been chatting to his girlfriend about what to call it, and he wanted to call it, I think it was something to do with like a CB radio, and she said, no, that's just Nancy Pantsy, we can't be calling it that. And I said, how about Atlas? After all, it is going to be going over the Atlas Mountains, and the name stuck. So the name plaque is on its way from Tom at House of Logos, so thanks for that, Tom. And we'll be looking for somewhere to mount it, but in the meanwhile, I'll give you a little walk around. So we've gone with these monstrous laser lights. So I don't want to be in front of this guy, so I'm hoping Rob's ahead of him on most of the trips because he's going to blind us at night time. He's definitely going to win in the light department, that's for sure. And most people will probably think he's got something to make up for having spotlights like that. And down the front here, we've given him the Explorer Red Winch, Monstrous Adventurer 2, with, of course, the heavy-duty bumper, as you've seen on a lot of cars. That front end certainly screams tough, and we've gone with the soft shackles. I like these soft shackles because they are what they say on the tin. You literally undo a loop like that, pop it open, for those of you who don't know what they are, literally loop it around your device, slide it back again, pop that on, and there's no dangerous hooks that can turn into catapults or dangerous objects and fling towards you. And the nice thing about it as well, it's nice in your hand if you're pulling this rope out, opposed to hooks that can pinch you and grab hold of you. Always thinking about ways to make, I don't know, your life nicer, if like, and look after your hands because you only get 2 of them. These are the truck light LEDs with the Mahker lights, and they work hand in hand with these tops. I'll just show you now, if you keep an eye on it. Yep. Then if you want to go all out. You ready? Enough to blind the world. When it leaves me, it's going to get its new clutch ran in, and then it's going to be heading to a live tune-in to go on the rolling road. So Gary, you've got your work cut out with this girl, and I want to see some good numbers, so let's make it happen.
What's that one doing there?
What's happening, Ben? So this truck is Cerberus, and you've seen it featured on the YouTube channel quite a few times. Personally, it is probably the favourite build that we've done here at Mahker. I think it's pretty awesome. Yeah, if I could take one home, it'd probably be this one. But what it's come in for is, as you can see, it's got a galv chassis on it, but some parts of it had started to go a little bit rough. It's still in great condition, but the customer just saw the videos of our tough coat treatment, and he says, can we do that? So that's the plan with this. So we pulled the axles off. The axles are getting freshened up. I believe one of them is in the workshop that's already primed. The other one is outside. Got the rear axle off this morning. Yeah, I'll be getting, I think Jakob's giving it a wire wheel down and prime it, and then I need to double check with Dave to see whether we're painting that in tough coat. That's the stone chip stuff, but yeah, that's the plan for this one. It's having new brake lines as well, so I believe new brake lines. It's just having a freshen up, really. Yeah, just a nice freshen up. But yeah, since our last video about the chassis treatments that we do, seems like you guys have found them quite good. We've had a good few bookings, but we definitely do recommend them. Looks very clean, and yeah, like I say, it's a win-win all round really. Just need to make sure that preparation is key really when you're sorting out the chassis and tough coating and different bits and bobs. Otherwise, if the prep's no good, then it'll be awful really. So good prep is a good finish. So that's what we're on with at the minute. Wrapped up all the braided lines, so they still, when we unwrap them, they'll still be shiny. But yeah, it's just getting rid of all the crusty stuff. So I had a bit of T-cut treatment yesterday, took it outside, gave it a steam clean, well, where we could steam clean. Gave it a bit of the T-cut treatment, which what that is on the galv chassis, you can't just put the paint straight on. So what that does is it gets it's a very different feel on the chassis. It's a lot more etched, so it helps the paint stick a lot more. And obviously if the paint isn't sticking, then it's not really going to be stone chip paint. I believe rear cross member is having a freshen up as well. That's going to satin black, I believe. So we've just taken off the wheel carrier and all the rest of it. It's fairly massive. Quite an industrial size wheel carrier, but he's got massive wheels on this. So taking that off, give all this wipe down obviously, so there's no dirt or grime or anything on it, and wrap it up in that bagging that you saw last week, I think it was. That plastic wrap that goes on the outside. But this one's not getting the blaster on it. Not getting blasted. It doesn't really need it with a galv chassis. So.
Right, so this car has literally just been completed through our sandblasting and treatment service. So what we've done with this car, axles have come off, exhaust system has come off, shocks, springs, brake lines, the works. So tomorrow this car's having a full flexible brake line kit because the other ones were corroded, but this chassis wasn't that far gone, so we decided to blast it and treat it. So it'll last years to come.
No.
Okay, now.
I need to get him like these clothes. Yeah. Where's Dave? Is he there?
Come on, Bruno. Not really filming me, are you?
Yeah.
These are what's commonly known in the game as strut covers.
How many of these are you doing today then?
I've made 3 sets up tonight, 3rd set today, but they've been a bit of a ball ache to be honest with you. Fitting wise and that, just tweaking them and that, trying to get them to fit the mould of the ring.
Yeah. Are these just a standard size or for
I'm not quite
something
sure,
in
to be
particular?
fair. I'm not quite sure. I know there's a set going on to one of the cars that Dave's taken to the desert.
Right.
I think it's just another way of just stopping all the muck and that, because you've got like a foam flange going in on there, and then just stops all the muck and everything else coming out then, like. So yeah, I think going forward, I think they will be putting these on as standard. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what Dave's thinking is on these, to be fair, but I think they look quite cool, to be fair. Just sets the engine off, well, finishes the engine off quite well. Yeah, so after they're polished, I go off to powder coat and then bung straight onto the engine. I mean, the set we put on yesterday, me and Dave, they look quite good to be fair, like. I mean, obviously this is going to go on the one side where there's no water bottle, and this one goes on the side, obviously where the cutout is. Here's one we had earlier. So that'll sit on there like that. Sort of finishes it off, sort of hides everything like. And then obviously the other one will just sit on there when it's finished like.
There's enough room for the tank to get, I'm sure there's enough room for it to get a knot in there.
This is what I was thinking, well, me and Nick are going to turn it around the corners, isn't it?
That's what I said, yeah, on the next one. Got the emission on the top.
About 20 degrees, Dave.
So what you see there is one gigantic alloy fuel tank. We fitted this because guess what's up front is an LT1 petrol thirsty V8 that, believe it or not, actually meets ULEZ compliance. And today we've been busy fitting these mud flaps to basically clear the exhaust system at the back here. And if you look under here, it's basically, we want to move these mud flaps further out to basically include actually the tyre profile. Yeah, so this car's also given us another headache, which is the guys that make the billet adapter for us didn't include a speed output for the Tremec because most of the engines are normally LS3s, which don't need a speed input. With it being an LT1 and it uses torque management, etc., it needs a speed input. So we're going to have to make a speed, basically mount to pick up off a reluctor wheel that goes on the back of the transfer case. So that's now another job we've got to do. And unfortunately, we only came across it when we got to the point of tuning, which is an absolute ball ache. But you know, we'll overcome it like we do everything else, and hopefully get Mamba out the door. Right, so excuse the very messy toolbox. The lads have obviously been around my toolbox, unlike me. Keeps it very tidy. So what do we have here? These are the lift-off hinges, and we've got a few sets available, guys. So £550 gets you a front set of hinges. So if you're in a 90, it's £550. If you would like the front and the second row set, it's £1,100 plus the VAT. So there you have it, guys. If you would like a set of these, get in touch. We've only got a limited number left, and we'll get them out the door to you. So fantastically engineered. Even look at the box. Even the box is beautiful. I still need Dave to make me a key ring that also doubles up as a bottle opener because he doesn't drink. He's not listening to me, is he? There you have it, guys. Tubular doors like that.
That's what you're doing in this?
For this, yeah.
So you're taking the door off and it's just going to be a tubular frame?
Tubular door with mesh, and then there'll be a rest to put your shoulder pad on, just let the air in.
But won't all the sand come in?
No, yeah. It comes in anyway, mate.
Oh, does it?
Oh, we got fucking Rinston.
It does.
In the trade, this is what we call a tool bomb. So when tools just go boom, no wonder why we can't find anything. So this is, let's say, first fit. So all the wires are going in for these lovely Dakota clocks that I showed you earlier. How cool are they? Something very different. This is Project Churchill, for those of you that don't know which build this is. I was actually building this car for myself, and like everything that I build for myself, I end up selling it before I actually finish it. So I've sold it to a friend of mine called Ben, and I hope he enjoys it as much as I was going to enjoy it. So this has got 6.2, 500 horsepower LS3. And it's not to be frowned at, that's for sure. And this is this was a mix between Keswick, playing about with satin and matte finishes, and we came up with this. So this is like a similar version to Ethos, but a Keswick version. And those wheels aren't staying, they're just assembly wheels.
I think it looks good. Don't see many slammed Land Rovers, do you?
It's different, isn't it? It's not the answers I want. So Project Pippin is back from its alarm system. So it's had a Category 1 alarm fitted and a smart track immobiliser system. And there's nothing else more we need to do. So tomorrow we're going to have a full nut and bolt check. We've done about 100 miles on it so far. And we're just going to go through things and just check things, you know, things that possibly come loose. There's a couple of weeps on here that just a couple of hoses need tweaking. Check lubrication, check that all our brake faces look good. And that's it really then. Adam can have it back and he can go on some adventures with the wife. So if you want your 300 TDI rebuilding or your 200 TDI or your TD5, please get in touch guys and you can see the quality and the cleanliness of our work. Right, so this is something that you haven't seen in the shop for a while. This is a 5.9 litre Cummins, 12 valve, so old school. This runs on a Bosch manual VE pump. A lot of people love these engines, renowned as the million-mile engine. These engines will do 1,000,000 miles. I've had a Ram that had done 370,000 miles and it didn't miss a beat. That was a 6.7. This one's coming to us. This engine was actually originally a 130 that we built for a client and he disliked it because he started doing more motorway miles and more roundabout town miles. But this customer is sick and tired of Puma engines failing and said, Dave, what can I have that's a torquey engine that can drag his monstrous 3.5 ton trailer around sites and back into the yard. He's only doing short trips, so he doesn't mind this heavy, heavy vibrating monster because it gets him from A to B. And he also wants it every time he goes to it to start. And I said, look, I can build you that, Adam. She will be far from refined, but she'll be definitely reliable, which is what he wants. So we've gone with a lovely 62mm Borg Warner turbo with a T3 housing. That turbo, when it comes on song, made my Ram 420 horsepower. And that was a Ram that probably weighed 3.75 ton. This car is a single cab 130. Yes, it's going to have a commercial back on it, but it's going to be light and it's going to be fun. So he's going to have a bit of smiles per miles with this car and it sure will sound nice. It's got a nice tubular manifold. We're giving him the twin servo brakes, of course, like we give everybody, and this monstrous cooling kit. A lot have tried to copy my cooling kit, guys, and a lot have failed. So if you want the proper kit, just come and see me and I'll look after you. So anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe because we notice a lot of you are viewing and you're not actually subscribing, so what's going on there? But anyway, thanks again for tuning in and I'll see you again next week. Take care.